Day. What's up, family? How y'all doing out there? Hopefully you're doing well. I hope you've had a good day. I certainly have had a good day, and like many of you, it's been a long day, but it's been a prosperous day, and that's what I want to talk about tonight from the proverb. Is It's about prospering and prosperity, and about just plotting a vision for your life. If I could ask you really quickly, what is the vision for your life? Like, what are you looking forward to accomplishing? What is motivating you? And we look at the Proverbs on this channel. We look at other things. We look at things from God's Word and from God's perspective. And we're looking at the book of Proverbs, and a proverb a day just might keep the devil away. So I think you want to just stay right there and tune in and just listen to some of the wisdom. A wise person would at least listen to some of the things I'm saying, especially if that question sparks some interest. Like, what is your vision? What are you thinking about? What's motivating you? What's in your future? And is that future bright? And so today in Proverbs, we're looking at Proverbs chapter 12, because today is the 12th day of March. By the way, the year is moving right along. But in Proverbs chapter 12, and I want to put this verse on the screen for you so that you can see it. Today's verse that we'll be looking at is in Proverbs chapter 12, and it's verse number 11. And you can see it right there on your screen, right here. And so the verse says, "Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless pursuits lacks sense." May the Lord bless us as we look for insight and wisdom from his word. And so let's just think through this verse for a second. And you think, if you think like a farmer, and if you think of a farmer, when a farmer, just pretend like you're a farmer. I actually came from the country in Virginia, and so very familiar with the farm setting, even though I wasn't on a farm, but my grandfather was a farmer, and he understood it. My family understood farming for sure. And right across the street from my home, there's a pasture where there are cows and all sorts of kinds of things. And so I understand that way of life. And so it's not that foreign to me. But if you're listening, it may be foreign. But think about this. Think about you were a farmer, and just pretend like you owned 100 acres of land. 100 acres of land is a lot of land. You could do a lot with 100 acres. And let's say you own the land. And then listen to this verse. You're a farmer. You're there. You've just inherited 100 acres of land, and then you hear this: "Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread." Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread. But now, before we get to the but, think about it. I got 100 acres of land. I'm a farmer. If I work my land, I'm going to have plenty of bread. Now, before you urbanize it real quick, you're like, bread is money. Well, no, it's real bread. It's real grain. It's the real understanding of bread that can produce money and feed you. But if you work the land, if you work and till the land and cause it to produce and grow, you're going to be prospering. You're going to have a vision. You're going to wake up every day and you're going to begin to work the land because of the outcome, because of what can come from that working. Then comes the but, right? So here's the but. It says, "But he who follows worthless pursuits lacks sense." So let me give you, I have a couple different on my phone here. I have a couple different translations of this verse. And so one, the ESV says, "He who follows worthless pursuits." The CSB says, "But whoever chases fantasies lacks sense." The NLT also uses the word fantasies. They're all looking at this Hebrew word rake. Say that with me, rake. That is the Hebrew word used here. It's in the plural, rehim. And so this word rake is a word that means empty or vain. And so you can really put that in there, and that is what the New King James says. It actually uses a word called frivolity, frivolity, but it just means empty or vain. So think about it. But he who follows empty or vain pursuits. And I really do like the translation fantasies, especially in today's culture, the day we live in. I mean, with the internet and these get rich quick opportunities, and there are some one-hit wonders on YouTube. There are some inventors out there. You might be one of those people that can put together an idea and it's going to work and you motivate it. But just by and large, if I just follow after fantasies, the verse says, I lack sense. Another way to say that is I lack understanding. Um, I one translation says they daydream and they lack wisdom. I don't know about you, but I like that one a lot too. And so, but if you're just out there, listen, I hope I'm talking to somebody. Like, this is wisdom. If you're just out there and you're just thinking, man, I'm going to play professional sports, only a small percentage of people play professional sports. A very small percentage of every collegiate athlete, very small percentage of them actually go on and play in this sport. And then those who play in this sport, it's a smaller percentage of those that reach stardom and actually break the bank, if you will. But if I'm just sitting there dreaming, like, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have a YouTube channel, I'm going to do whatever that thing is, I'm going to be rich and I'm going to be wealthy, and I'm just sitting here dreaming about it, Scripture says that's not wise. That's not wise. And we live in a world where white collar, blue collar jobs, career jobs, all these jobs, there's something negative said about military career or going to college. Somebody says something negative about every area where you can work on yourself and become better. This says, and I'm going to put it this way, I'm going to just bridge the meaning and the thought, is whatever God has put in you. Remember our analogy in the beginning, if you were given 100 acres of land. But whatever God has put in your hand to be a steward over, your gifts, your talents, whatever that is, you can be a steward over it. And if you steward it well, there will be an increase. But if you just sit around and you dream, if you just have empty, you just pursue empty things. You just pursue this and pursue that and just keep pursuing and pursuing and pursuing, but it's empty. It's vain. It's a fantasy. Because somebody out there is thinking, it's pushing back a little bit, and I get it. I understand. You're like, well, what about pursuing my dream? What if I have a dream? Aren't there a lot of inventors and people who failed at first and then they tried again and were successful? Yes, that is absolutely true. But by fantasies are empty, we're talking about something that's absolutely empty. It's like, it's just, again, it's like I'm going to have a YouTube channel and have 1 million followers or 100 million followers, and I don't even have a computer. You know, it's that thing where it's like, it's just a fantasy. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, there's nothing even to it. And I would even say this, if there's a dream, something you're pursuing, and it's not materializing, then maybe you need to go back and work your land, work that thing that's tangible, work that thing that's right at your disposal until you can put yourself in a position to do that great and grand thing. So if you're working any job, and I don't want to call one because somebody will think I'm feeling some kind of way about it, but whatever that job is that you're working right now, you call it out where you are. You listening to me, where are you working? Whatever that job is, let's say you don't like it, or let's say you're not getting paid that well. Do that job to the best of your ability. Till that land. And the wisdom is saying there's going to be an outcome. And what I'm saying is, even in that job, if you tilled your land, if you work that job with diligence, I think you'll begin to move up, because work ethic is hard to teach. And then as you move up, you might move out. And if you move out, you might move beyond. That means I might move up where I am. Then I might say, wow, there's an opportunity now for me to do this on a bigger level somewhere else. Let me move out. And then you get there and you might find out that you move beyond and you're the one owning that Chick-fil-A chain or whatever that is. So look, the wisdom of the day from Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 11 is, whatever you have, work at it. Be motivated. Even if you don't like your job, be motivated to work on a skill, to become really good, to work the land, because there's an outcome. And if there are fantasies out there that you can't turn into vision, fantasy and vision is different. A fantasy is dragons and mythological creatures, right? It's things that's just in my mind and they don't materialize. Vision is something I could see happening, and I'm going to do my due diligence to make it happen. And listen, I believe that if you arm yourself with this kind of thinking, that nothing is too hard for you, especially if God is with us. So that's today's wisdom. I thank you for listening. If this is the first time you've been by this channel, please give us a thumbs up, select the subscribe button, that you might be able to get great content. If you just signed on last week on Sunday, we had a great presentation of the Messiah and the Passover by Pastor and Missionary Toby Mann. You won't want to miss that. Go back. If you find yourself coming by our channel, you want to support us financially, you'll be able to do that. You can do it online. You can go to our website, or if you keep watching, you'll find a QR code, not today, that pops up on our screen, and you'll be able to support us in that way. We would love to have your support as we continue to share God's wisdom. Well, I pray you have an awesome day and a wonderful night. May God bless you. I always tell people, love God, hate sin, and count it all joy until you learn how to have fun. Peace.